Hey folks, so this is a branch of Violet de Bordeaux that I recently propagated, and I put this tag since I have a few varieties of figs, and this way I don't start getting them confused, but these are starting to hang down and I have some new sprigs growing up, so I'm actually going to air layer these two branches. So I'm going to take my trusty knife and I'm just going to cut a segment. You want to remove the outer bark. What's nice about figs is you don't really need rooting hormone. So I'm just making a incision all the way around and trying to be careful not to destroy this frail stem because it's a thin branch, but by cutting this around, and from the edges I can make sure it's going to be about the same size, it breaks off around there. But as you can see, you have a good sharp grafting knife and you're all set. And this knife is actually, it's called a razor knife. They do pretty good with grafting. So you see there's a little there too. I'm trying not to break the stem or cut my finger, but you want to cut the outer bark and get down deep enough. So now I have one. I'm going to go ahead and prep another stem. Here at my apartment in Monroe, there's an airport nearby, so you hear these small propeller planes. But you only get about an inch or inch and a half typically is all you need, and it should develop a good root ball. But you do want to cut into the stem deep enough. If you just scrape it, it's going to be like a scratch, as in Monty Python and the Holy Grail. It's but a scratch. So you want to make sure you do cut it pretty deeply. And then what I'm going to do for air layering this is I have something called press and seal. It's like saran wrap, but it's so much easier to work with. So I'm actually just cutting smaller segments of the press and seal, as you can see. And I'm going to run it underneath and press one side and the other, and it seals really well. And then I have this thing which is like a craft spatula type thing that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I have soil. And it's amazing how you can actually use regular soil. You don't need to worry about peat moss or stuff, because sometimes regular soil will actually work with air layering. You just need a growing media. And I actually want to make sure I get it underneath. So I have it underneath, and I'm going to add a little more. And one thing I forgot was some water, because I'd like to add a little more water even though it's pretty moist. So I'm going to go get some water quickly. So I have the trusty wash bottle. I'm going to set it aside for now while I prepare the other branch with the press and seal. I'm not going to tear it apart. Then I'd have to go back inside and get me another segment. Oh yeah, I did tear a little apart at least. So I did cheat slightly, if you want to call it that. So now I'm going to add a little more dirt. Oops. Make sure we get it underneath. And then add a little more. So that's good. And then I'm going to add some moisture to both of these. And what the water does, even though this is already moist, adding more water will help it compact a little bit. So now I have this, and the press and seal seems to do so good. I had brought me a little thing of tape which I could tear off and put segments, but I really don't need that too much, but I'm going to do it just on this side a little bit. That side's pretty decent. I have more press and seal, which I'm going to put on the other segment. You know, it's a little sloppy versus using like an actual air layering device, like the ones I've made or the ones I've bought, if you've seen some of my other air layering videos. But the reality is, it works, and sometimes that's all you need. And figs, because they basically, figs will root in the middle of summer for it takes a very short amount of time for them to root. They don't sit there forever like the loquats that I've been air layering, and sometimes I don't get much success. So consequently, they don't need to have something that's going to need to stay on for an extended duration, but that's all I need. Now I can place this back in the tray of water, and hopefully in about 3 weeks I'll have enough roots here to cut these branches and get new Violet de Bordeaux figs. So that's all there is. But anyway, time to get back inside because the mosquitoes are biting me. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, and happy planting. These two air layerings were done on August 17, and right now it is September 1st, so it's just been 15 days, so it actually rooted well in 2 weeks. And check out these roots. This is hanging down, so the roots are growing down that way. But I'm going to let these sit for a little longer before I cut them off the main plant, so I can have a much healthier plant. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and happy planting.